numbers, for he'll make a desert of his home and yours, shun him. Then it cuts to video, and they actually removed a line from the 29th scroll. Mm-hmm. The line they removed was, drive him back into his jungle lair. But it completes with, for he is the harbinger of death. So shun him is the voiceover. Then it goes to video, for he is the harbinger of death. I thought it was interesting they would cut out one line. Do you think that drive him back into his jungle lair was suggesting that there's something else there? Like
I'm wondering if it's trying to give a reason why they haven't exterminated all the humans or pushed them back, because they're literally in that field. They don't kill everybody. They take some back for slaves or whatever they use them for, a scientific experiment, instead of driving them back to the jungle and just getting rid of them.
I plead the fifth.
Okay.
I can't speak here.
It was just a very odd.
Actually, I think
it was an interesting omission.
When you see the end of the movie and every bit of interaction that we have, I think you'll see why they cut that. Okay. Because I saw that too, and I thought, I never really thought about it before, but I thought, I understand why they cut it. It makes sense, but that's all I'll say.
So at this point, do we just replay the commentary from 106 that we did?
Yeah, we might as well. So I think it's worth noting right here that our first big omission from the first film is our director, Franklin J. Schaffner, was unavailable because he was shooting Patton, his prestige project, which Francis Ford Coppola wrote the script for. The reins were handed to Ted Post, who had directed mainly TV, Gunsmoke, Twilight Zone, Wagon Train. He did go on to direct the sequel to the Dirty Harry film, Magnum Force. Mm-hmm. So he was not a nobody, but he did not have the skins on the wall, and from what I could read, it did not make a number of the cast very happy that Schaffner did not come back. And mainly Kim Hunter. There are a number of quotes that you can find out there where she will say things about it. This film's not as good as the first. She'll make a further comment, but you have to understand, we didn't have Schaffner this time. So if you're Ted Post and you're reading that, what the hell do you think?
When did she make that? Did she make that later or
post-production? Yeah.
The one thing to know about Ted Post as well is that part of his television credit is the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in going through some of the bios of some of the actors and production people, there's a lot of Twilight Zone people, even though Sterling is not involved with this particular film.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of Twilight Zone people.
But I'm also wondering if that has to do with you have a pool of talent that you can work with. I'm
sure it's a little of both.
So you start to go, hey, I've worked with this guy, I've worked with this guy, I've worked with this woman, let's go ahead and bring them all in.
This isn't a British television series. Hey. They only have like 8 people on an island, so they just reuse them in all their shows.
And then hire one American to show up or something.
Exactly, to speak in a British accent terribly.
So we've reset the table. We've got Taylor and Nova off on their own. We've told the audience everything they should be aware of and worried about with man.
All it is the warning at this particular point and the setup for the two of them to actually kind of ride off into the reveal. What I found interesting is they cut out the kind of moment where there's this dangerous where the gorillas come in and
they did
gives them
kill
that. Yeah, they did cut out some stuff.
They cut out a few things there. They actually kind of reworked the scene as well because in the I guess it's kind of part of the next minute. He kind of loads his rifle onto his back for a second and tells Nova kind of to come to him, and that actually happens after the discussion about what happens at the beginning of the next minute.
And how funny is it that, going back to your point earlier, that we didn't have VCRs, we don't have all these kind of things, that the nerdy people like us who've watched the film 3,000 times and we can see all that it's not the same. Many people may have seen it 2 or 3 times in theater, but they still don't know the cuts and the beats probably by heart.
Yeah.
So it didn't feel like it was
anything was taken out. Exactly. Yeah.
And did either of you notice, and I say this with the knowledge that I think I'm correct about this because I jumped ahead to see if the film stock and the rest of the film looked this way, they purposely degraded this film stock. It flickers.
Really?
Now,
Yeah.
I think they put a bit of a sepia haze over it so it would feel like you were looking back, like this has already happened, nostalgic. But then when it gets to shots of Zayas, you can almost see the flicker over his face, and it's not holding true. I don't know if they purposely did that, or if this first part of the film has just gone to shit.
It's a bad transfer or something.
It was horrible, but then, like I said, it did skip ahead, and it all looks pristine.
It just occurred to me in the storytelling moment that they cut those moments out, that he basically, Cornelius gives the warning, finishes the scroll, and and it means Heston's like, I'm out.
Bye.
See ya. Bye. Like there's no,
right.
we
Take care,
lose all that
man.
moment about what he's doing next and
Right.
why he would be doing what he's doing next. He's like, okay, cool, I'm getting on a horse. Like it was just kind of,
Right.
here's the warning. Okay, bye. I mean, the audience knows what's happening, but it was still just kind of like.
I also thought it was interesting that they just started the movie with no music at all, just the ocean sound.
That first shot was a very interesting choice, just to go with rolling waves.
Mm-hmm. For 15 seconds of nothing, 42 seconds of just the beach.
Is that just to kind of set the we're continuing on, we're moving on, we're
Maybe
moving
so,
forward,
just to evoke the end of it again.
We're coming this moment again.
But I did find it odd that it stayed so long with it, and that we didn't have a split edit to have the voiceover underneath the waves like early on.
Yeah,
it was just it hangs and it hangs. But once again, they're going with that choice that filmmaking language at the time, which is to luxuriously take your time.
It's not a Planet of the Apes movie without unnecessarily long shots.
Oh, I thought about you in the coming minutes, my friend.
Oh, the coming repeating minutes, you mean?
Well, gentlemen.
Wait, there are future minutes? I'm sorry.
I think we're kind of at the end of that minute. Are there any other thoughts you want to throw in?
Not about the movie, but procedurally wise. So are we doing a new count of people living, dead, ape, and otherwise? Or are we doing an existing count, since this is literally picking up 5-7 minutes into the old movie?
I would like you to continue to the count because I think it's really, really fun.
I obviously don't know the future movies. Is there an indication that the count will become a fresh count?
So Sean is watching these minute by minute.
Yes,
he's never seen these original films.
Yes. He's never. We're still going with the whole gimmick that Sean is watching these minute by minute as we record them.
And when we get to the newer films, Richard is that person. He's never seen those, and he'll see them. I'm the only one that's seen all of them.
But I would like Sean to continue his count.
I like the count. Let's keep the count, and when you feel it's right, and I don't care going forward on all the films.
Okay.
When you feel it's right, begin it. If you feel it's right to reset it, reset it.
Do you want to reset it? Do you want to start?
Well, I mean, technically, if we're going in the lore of the Planet of the Apes, we're still in the same timeline and everything.
Yeah.
So nothing has changed. We still got our 2 dead or 2 living and 1 dead ape. And
I'm shot. Not dead yet. Sure, keep that. And when you feel it's time to get rid of your gaggle of whatevers, then get rid of the gaggle and add something new in.
All right.
Are we agreed upon that?
I will do that for minute 2 then.
All right, gentlemen. Well, I think that's everything for the first minute of Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Here. Great job.
Yeah.
It was such a kind of mundane minute, but I'm really excited about the stuff we're going to see forward because Beneath is fantastic.
It is a lot of fun. It's kooky in places. I'm going to warn you, it is kooky.
Yeah, we can't tell anything to Sean.
No.
All right, guys, that's it. So come back tomorrow. We'll get into the second minute of Beneath the Planet of the Apes. For Richard and Sean, I'm Todd. We'll see you then.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Beneath the minute of the apes. Beneath the minute of the apes. Beneath the minute